Lois, I come from a planet far, far away.
Hi everybody, this is Madman Mike, and welcome to the Superman panel this time. With me I got Tony Beers, and with me, just making his pro wrestling debut, RK Stud.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay guys, this is about the Superman movie franchise. We are getting, as you can see, our good friend Tony Beers here did our introduction to our show.
Fantastic job, Tony.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So today we're discussing the Superman movie franchise and where it's going and what we think should be done with the movie franchise. Tony, what do you think?
I agreed with you about what you said in your last rant, how they use Lex Luthor way too much in the Superman franchise. I'm waiting for another villain. I can understand, okay, like this reboot or sequel, whatever you want to call it, of Superman Returns, I can understand needing for him to be in the first one to start it off, but why does he have to keep on continuing in the next ones? Like you were saying before, Superman 2 and Superman 4 had different villains, but 2 and 4 had different villains, but it also had Lex Luthor, and it didn't really need that. I agree with you on the Superman 2 about the kid. That was kind of pointless. Just about everything what you had to say, except for I have to say that I did enjoy Superman Returns a little bit more than you did. I don't think it was a great movie. I think it was a decent movie. It had plenty of faults. It is nowhere near perfect. That part I do agree with you.
What'd you think of Superman 3? I mean, Superman 3, like I said, didn't have nothing to do with Lex Luthor. We had the comedian Richard Pryor in this one. This one I actually liked, but like I said, it was a piece of shit because I didn't like the storyline. But, Richard Pryor had his funny moments in this movie. I didn't like the robot woman, and I didn't like stupid fucking machine that he supposedly created and shit. So what did you think of Superman 3?
Just like Superman Returns had its good parts and its bad. Unlike Superman Returns, I actually thought that one had more bad than good. That's when Superman really went down, and 4 just ended the series right there. It's kind of like the Batman franchise started going down on the third one. That's with a lot of movies. When you have trilogies or you have movie series, the third one's where it usually starts going down.
Yeah. Robin, same question. Same thing.
The first two in the series, I will admit, are just great. They're just tailored just right. I didn't mind Lex Luthor in that. 3, you kind of had a guy who was kind of like Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
4, you had him, granted, the late Christopher Reeves, may he rest in peace, wrote the movie, making it all about nuclear weapons and all that. Trying to put the message out there, but with Lex Luthor, well, here, I'll just put a little embryonic device in this warhead. Superman then normally throws it in the sun, and that's what we got.
Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man. What a dumb name for a villain. Nuclear Man. It's just one of them things, oh God, the quest for peace, and they're fighting on the moon on the 4th one. Superman plants the flag up. Truth, justice, American way. Yippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My oh my, what a wonderful fucking day. And then we waited all them years. They were trying to make a reboot, and they even had my favorite director, Kevin Smith. Really love him to death.
Means you're fucking gay!
Tried to come up with a script that, got leaked out, kind of what he was trying to do. And he even details what he was trying to do in An Evening with Kevin Smith. I would have loved to have seen a Kevin Smith pen Superman story because he's a true comic book fan, like we are here.
Yeah.
But that just never happened. And then we come right around to Bryan Singer and Brandon Routh in the gay Superman outfit. Superman Returns. I mean, the first look, when it was leaked, Brandon Routh as Superman, I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking gay.
Nothing against gay people.
Nothing against gay people. RK Stud loves gay people, especially if you're lesbians.
We know you do.
But the movie had some good elements. Kevin Spacey did a wonderful job as Lex Luthor. I really thought he just did him like he was supposed to be done. Sorry, Gene Hackman, your comical Lex just doesn't really cut it except for the first two. After that, it got a bit downplayed. The kid, I did not need to see. I will agree with you guys there. You know, it just didn't make no sense. Okay, Superman Jr., okay, he's not affected by kryptonite in any way. I mean, what were you trying to do there, Bryan Singer? What were you trying to do? That aspect, oh, he's gone 5 years because he went up to finally see Krypton and study the planet from what, and then come back down. Everyone but Lois Lane's like, well, Superman's return. And she's like, screw you, you screwed me, I had a kid from you. At the end, though, you're right. It did look like she was waiting for child support and visitation rules. Do you guys actually see in the Superman comics that they have a kid in there?
No.
No.
No! No!
Set it in the comic book world just a little bit. Keep it as fresh with that.
I remember they tried doing this shit in Lois and Clark.
That was towards the end of the show, and that's when everyone wanted to see the wedding. So it was that big media event. Oh, they're getting married. They need to be married in the comics around the same time as the TV show.
Right.
After they got married on the TV show didn't last that much longer. Gee, what does that tell you right there? Women and men do not want to see Superman and Lois get married. Or as Clark Kent as Lois Lane. It's a good couple, yeah, I'll admit to that. But the kid did not need to be there. Lois Lane's new fiance didn't need to be there and be Perry White's nephew, played by James Marsden, who also was Cyclops in the same summer. And he died in the X-Men movie.
Well, I was going to say, I think James Marsden's character was the most tragic character in the movie, since here he is going out with a woman who still has a crush on Superman, and it's obvious that she still does, and he's left taking care of the kid, and how does anyone compete with Superman to try to get her affections? How do you compete with that? You can't. I mean,
obviously.
Like you were saying earlier, Robin, we're all big fans of Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
In Bryan Singer's movie, he is almost like a screw you to Kevin Smith, I feel, because in Kevin Smith's movie Mallrats, character Brody goes on and on about how Superman can't have a child with a normal human being.
Lois could never have Superman's baby.
And Bryan Singer was like, oh yes he can, I'll prove that he can, you know. I'll make Kevin Smith wrong by saying this. A lot of people say like, Superman has bulletproof skin, so why not shoot him in the eye? Some people say, so Bryan Singer went out of his way to prove them wrong too, that you can shoot Superman in the eye and it'll just bounce off. I think it was Bryan Singer's way is to say, oh, screw you to everybody who has these theories of Superman. This is how I think Superman is.
And did you notice the whole plot for Superman Returns was, of course, him coming back, but also real estate, which was the same plot as the first one.
Stocks may rise and fall. Utilities and transportation systems may collapse. People are no damn good. But they will always need land, and they'll pay through the nose to get it. Remember my father said, land.
Land. You can print money, manufacture diamonds, and people are a dime a dozen, but they'll always need land. It's the one thing they're not making anymore. In fact, they'll pay through the nose for it.
Yeah, the island that Lex created.
Yeah.
Out of kryptonite.
Wrong!
Not just an island, an entirely new continent.
That's another good point. I think the worst thing about Superman Returns is Bryan Singer wasn't making his version of Superman. He was taking Richard Donner. He has one of those bracelets. It doesn't say, what would Jesus do? It says, what would Richard Donner do, you know, in this movie? He was trying to make a Richard Donner film instead of making a Bryan Singer film.
The thing is, though, too, Kevin Smith brought up an excellent point in his show. It was that, why don't we have a giant spider in the movie? It would have been well worth seeing a giant spider instead of seeing the fucking Lex Luthor in this goddamn movie. I was like, I would have welcomed the giant fucking spider in this goddamn movie. I mean, literally would have welcomed the goddamn spider. Oh, look, it's a big gigantic spider. Where's Superman?
Why can't people write in Brainiac or Darkseid? Darkseid would be really good. I've always wanted to see a screen version of Superman versus Doomsday. However, having just watched The Watchmen, being almost fully as it is in the comic, The Watchmen let me down. So now, why do I want to go see that version?
As you were saying before about Kevin Smith, about his script of Death and Return of Superman,
yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that. I think that would have been a great idea, except for the producers screwing it all up. So I'm glad that that was never made by that producer, but I would love to see them come back again and let Kevin Smith, let someone else direct it, but let him be there on set, you know, since he was a writer, and since he does know Superman very well, say, okay, Superman would not do this.
Hi everybody, it's me again, Madman Mike.
Hello friends, how are we doing? This is your old pal RK Stud.
I come from a planet far, far away. Lois, I come from a planet far, far away.
Fucking awesome, dude. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome.